Now, I assumed coming into this offseason I would be talking about St Kilda a lot. I didn't know it would be because of this. I don't think anyone did. And Gubby Allen was right. The Saints did have some surprises up their sleeves. We're all certainly surprised, but the outrage is, let's be real, ridiculous. Now, at the time of recording, it is currently midnight. So you will be seeing this at around 8 a.m., I'm assuming, on Friday morning. So if more changes between now and when you watch this video, just don't comment and go, you didn't bring this up, Daz. I'm not a time traveler. Work with me. But pretty much everything that came out of today outside of Geelong's 3 first-round picks for Kerno involved the Saints. So let's cover it. And of course, the big story being withdrawing the interest in Leek Aleer. Now, where I feel sorry is Leek, of course. Now, Dylan Smith, his manager, says that no one from St Kilda has reached out to him, and that is the shitty bit, because if you are going to, pursue a guy for a couple of years and you are going to withdraw your interest, maybe giving them a heads up before it gets out to the media just might be the way to go. So, naughty you, St Kilda. Everything else from that is legitimately no big deal. Like, yeah, pursued for 2 years, that's fine, wined, dined, all of these sorts of things can switch on a dime. Christian Petrarca is trying to get out of a contract that's got 4 years left on it, but it's a club doing somewhat a similar thing that he's getting in, well, societal trouble, if you will. Spare me. What the hell? They're just making a business decision. It's not as if he signed a contract, the trade was done, and they tried redacting a trade. They wanted relatively cheaply. GWS went, we want a future second rounder, and St Kilda went, we don't think he's worth that. What? Why are we upset? Rowan Marshall, pick 19, was the offer from Geelong. They said no. Now, I suspect that those two things may be connected because they are going to try and get Sam de Koning and Rowan Marshall in some kind of deal trade. We'll see how that goes. But I don't really get, if there was a phone call to Leek Aleer or his management that said, this is why we're withdrawing our interest, we apologise, we wish you all the best for the future, all of those kinds of things. This isn't a story, but it's a story now because, again, the Saints, like, who's going to make a deal with the Saints now? This is going to affect them badly. They just gave up pick 7 for Sam Flanders. You think they're going to be overwhelmingly difficult to deal with? No. They're clearly sending a message that they are going to be their version of ruthless and cut out, as much as they can, stupidity. Now, you could again argue that the de Koning and Jack Silvani moves might end up being stupid. I agree with you. They've given up zero capital for them. None. Zip. Nada. Zero. And then by the time they're going to have to pay Filippo, Taru, these kind of guys, the salary cap will have gone up anyway. This isn't really that big of a deal. Like, if I'm a St Kilda fan, I'm over the frickin' moon right now, and they are as relevant as they've ever been. There is a little bit of an argument to be made, and I think it's because the social media sort of wave bubble wasn't really there in that 09-10 period. Well, you could count 08 too. They did make a prelim. They've never been more relevant than this, which is kind of fun, I suppose, but it's no big deal that they don't want Leek Aleer anymore. I suspect that the Bulldogs, maybe North, might go after him, even though Brady Rawlings has said that I want key defenders, which is weird, but sure. But yeah, this is such a non-issue. And again, unless more comes out between the time I'm recording this and the time you're watching it, in which case that becomes a different conversation. You can only take the opinion when you watch it as to what it was when I recorded, not to when you watched it. I need you to be very clear on that. But the only mistake they made was just not really giving a heads up, right? It's kind of like announcing on social media that you're single rather than breaking up with your partner, right? Shitty thing to do. Naughty. You do also have the right to end a relationship if you want to. There are just better ways of going about it. And then, of course, the business and footy decisions are, again, fine. St Kilda are clearly saying, we're doing things our way. It's us against the world. Fans, members, get on board. I hope they are, because, again, if I am going through, I should say, a 60-year premiership drought, this is the kind of shit that you want to see. It's great. And again, if you're anti this for any reason and St Kilda are bringing out an ugly side of you as a footy fan, do you know how good of a hate watch you're going to get next year, especially if this goes to shit? Like, there are no downsides here for outside of Leek Aleer and his family. Like, none. Zero. Nada. The rest of it is just going to be absolute cinema. And when was the last time St Kilda were box office for longer than a fortnight? Exactly. So this is awesome. This is cool. This is genuinely like getting reality TV show updates from my missus, and you're just like, really? They did that? It's actually interesting. I'm not sure how emotionally invested I am in it, but you've got me hooked. From there, let's just go to the two trades because why not? Liam Ryan comes in, and the history has been made for the future picks being moved. A 26 second for a 27 third. St Kilda are going to think to themselves, maybe they're a top 6-8 side, so maybe that becomes pick 28 in the open draft. Forget the academies and father sons and all that, but 28 in the open draft in 26, maybe compared to pick 42 in 27, maybe in the future, and you get Liam Ryan in between that time, yeah, that's fine. I'm not 100% sure what Liam Ryan's got left in the tank. I really don't, but I don't think they've given up enough in order for it to be you guaranteed needing to be like all Australian or in the squad or have a career best season. 30 goals from him is fine. Absolutely fine, especially for what they gave up. It's A-OK. And also shout out, just before we get to the rest of the St Kilda stuff, just quickly, shout out to Max Heath, who's the Moose ended up at Melbourne. Max Gawn's protege, works well for me. I don't know what Kalani White's role is going to be at the Ds moving forward, but you've got some mature bodies there outside of Gawn, which is great. If Kalani is your sort of long-term prospect, maybe with the best 23 in play, Heath and Kalani White might be able to work together. Kalani wasn't a full ruckman throughout, but you think with his size, maybe they could go down that path. Maybe it would be Heath on his own. Who the heck knows? But I like it as a pickup that cost Melbourne basically, nothing. They're going to think to themselves by 27, they should be a finals team. So let's say that's pick 10 as a first rounder. You're getting a fourth round pick, which just logic tells me is around pick, where are we at here? 10, 28, 46. So you're looking at anywhere 56-ish range? 64-ish is the pick range that you're looking at there. So cool. It's cost you basically nothing. Love that in a big way. And of course, where St Kilda are at the moment is, like I said, they're just making good decisions. And if I looked at their team that played against GWS in the last home and away game and compare that to fully fit, by the way, what their round one or opening round team could look like, because it should be absolute cinema when they get there, is if we look at the ins and the outs, you're looking at De Koning in, Silvani, Flanders, Ryan, King, Max, Owens, and Butler, who also didn't play in that last game. And I would probably take Stocker, Keeler, Boxall, Collard, Garcia, Sharman, and Zach Jones out of that team. Now, that's not to say that the guys on the out column are not going to be in the side at some stage. I'm just saying what it looks like on paper. These are the decisions that I would be making. All right. Now, what does that look like in terms of your best 23? Well, you're looking at a Silvani, Wilkie, Caminiti, Travalia, Taru, and Sinclair as your back six. Mason Wood, Nazaya, Darcy Wilson, Tom De Koning, Sam Flanders, Marcus Winhager as your midfield/wingers. McRae, Marshall, Butler, Higgins, King, Ryan as your forwards. And then I've got Steele, Phillippo, Hall, Hill, and Owens on the bench. If you're a St Kilda fan, and even if you disagree with that side a little bit, I mean, that's the 23 that I've gone with. If you're telling me that you're not excited by that team, you're out of your mind. Now, again, they could end up trading Marshall, and Jack Steele is still on the table as a guy that could be traded out. I understand that. You would have to do some finagling there, and all of that is perfectly reasonable. But in all honesty, if they can keep Marshall, then Jack Steele becomes a little bit more expendable, a little bit. Essendon may be interested. West Coast will see how that transpires. But overall, if they keep Rowan Marshall, and even if they don't and replace him with Sam De Koning, I would be putting Alexander Taru forward as that centre-half forward, so it still looks pretty good on paper. I'm pretty pumped up because overall, at this point, St Kilda are bringing in De Koning, Silvani, Flanders, Ryan, a 2027 third and fourth, for pick 7, Max Heath, and a 2026 second. It's a net positive, guys, so I'm on board with what St Kilda are doing. I like it. If you're a St Kilda fan, I think you should be on board with this as well. And again, if it becomes a disaster, well, all the people that don't like it get to celebrate. So, yeah, the Saints bring in the off-season content. Jesus, what a weird sentence that still seems like. But, hey, what do you think? And hopefully we should get some other teams involved in the trade period soon, so keep an eye out for those videos. I did drop my Oscar Allen and Sam Draper video yesterday as well, so if you could go check that out, that would be awesome. But like the video if you like the video, subscribe to join the Daz Talks Footy family. I really appreciate you watching. Keep an eye out for more content coming very soon, and I'll see you next time.